Kobe, me and my boy Kobe Pegway. Today we're talking about why money is everything and is it religion? So this is a very, very interesting topic because there's so many correlations between religion and money these days that it's scary. As a matter of fact, I'm of the opinion that we can't do anything without money. I think it's
There are
close
things
to
that we can do without money.
all right,
But
like what? Like what? Let's just get into it. Let's just because you're already starting to pop off.
Nah, I mean, of course, you can go to the gym. We can go to the gym without. Well, that's a small membership.
What?
Okay, so
Yeah. So what can we do without
I
money?
mean, but you can still work out without money. I would like to say that you can work out. I mean, you can exercise without money.
So you're saying that we could do some push-ups and pull-ups without money? That's it.
Yeah.
So besides doing push-ups and pull-ups without money, what else can we do without money?
And
then, because we can't make it to the gym without money.
Well, you don't need to actually going to the gym ain't the only thing that you need to do to actually, to work out. You can just go outside and jog.
So look, what are the important things that we could do without money? Because look, if we go back and we look at the most important needs that we have, food, shelter, clothes, water, you know what I mean? Like all of those things require money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all our basic needs that we need to have that fiat, or we need that dollar, or we need something that represents money to be able to get those things done. So when we look at it, but why is it that case? Like, why can't we just live on the earth and just be free of money? But even if we were to roam around and live amongst the earth, something still will represent money.
Right. I mean, the entire system that we living in is based around. It's just based around money.
Right.
So with everything costing, it's hard to identify that, like relationships. You know what I'm saying? Don't cost money, but everything is based off benefit.
So let me ask you this: is a relationship a form of currency?
I don't really look at it in that particular light. As far as it being a form of currency, I think that
because I believe that you do have social capital with people. Like, for example,
like so many things that you're good for.
Well, I mean, not so many things that are, in a sense, because we have that type of relationship. If I was ever down, I'd be like, "Oh, let me borrow $20K." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you understand that, like, we've not only grown up together, but we're both financially responsible enough to be able to loan each other money. If you were down and you needed money, you say, "Daryl, I need 10."
Right.
You know, you got it. Because I've seen you down, I've seen you up, I've seen you down, I've seen you up, more up than down.
You know so you're saying a relationship
has become a form of capital as well.
Got you. I got you. Because we kind of got credit with each other based off the worthiness of whether we feel like each other will pay each other back.
Of course.
Oh damn, man, that's kind of dope. Like I ain't never even thought about that like that before.
Yeah. So I mean, when we look at it, everything that we do is a form of capital. We can't get away from the idea that money is everything. Like, so when we just try to sound like when we try to just put in the aspect where we try to get away from it, because a lot of us come from,
because it sounds bad,
it do sound bad.
I mean, it sounds bad when you be like, I mean, because it seems like everybody, I mean, people would do anything for money, or that you are willing to do anything for money. But
right.
The truth of the matter is that a lot of people are willing to do almost anything for money, which goes into that thing where it's like, it's damn near religion.
It is.
It
is. And I was reflecting that what is the intention of religion? So if intention of religion is to kind of monitor our behavior or make sure that we act in a certain manner, well, doesn't wealth and debt do the same thing? Because when you up, you act a certain way. When you down, you act a certain way.
And money keep people in control. Like,
money,
I mean, if you are paying someone's bills as the CEO of a company, people gonna come in, they're gonna act a certain type of way to get that check.
Most definitely. You're gonna have a certain amount of respect for somebody, and two, they're going to expand your vision because of the money. You're gonna come on my job, you're gonna be able to act in accordance, you're gonna be able to act in a certain way within the culture, within the frame of what I'm trying to do.
So essentially you would say that money is more, people have more faith and willing to do more for money over God, essentially.
I think that money has become God.
Money has become God.
Money has become God.
Okay.
In a sense, because look, if you're willing to do all of that and you're willing to be controlled because of finances or because of money, like you're not making your own decisions based on anything else but the ability to pay your bills, right?
Right.
So in that sense, if that controls you and you paying your bills and you're like acting in accordance to a culture, because what is spirituality? Spirituality is just essentially a culture, right?
And I want some questions to come in, like for real on this one. On the real, I mean, I really would like to hear what people would have to say and what like how people would chime in on this particular topic, because it is, I mean, it is such a touchy one.
It is. I think that look, it's become such an important thing, but money has always been that energy. What is money? So if we look at money, money is just currency. It's just energy, right? So why do we need to make the distinction to separate money and religion or money and spirituality when, in fact, I think they're the same thing? You know what I mean?
I mean, really, I feel like everything in the world is really just it's all just energy. I don't really think everything else is just the physical form of energy that you can't see.
So why haven't we learned how to master the energy instead of demonizing money as we often do? Because it seems like we want to make enough money to get away from it.
Nah, man, the problem is for me is that it's the people's relationship with money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's because they haven't learned, especially people in our community, they haven't learned how they've been slaving for the money, but they haven't figured out how to reverse the role,
right,
and start to make money be the slave for you. Because if in fact you was able, like we teach people how to make money a slave for them, they will, the relationship with money and the way that they look at money won't be the same, because they won't be doing the dance for money. They will be doing more things in spirit, because when you got, say if you had a rental property or something that was paying all of your, I mean, just look at it like this: a simple setup of a stress-free life.
Right.
The simple setup would be this. Okay, if you was working a job and a job made you enough to invest in a piece of real estate, and if that piece of real estate was like, let's say, a 4-family flat, and that piece of real estate was enough to, those 4 units was enough to pay all of your big bills. You get what I'm saying? It paid your rent, all of your bills in your house, and it paid your car note. Right. Now that would definitely change the perspective of how you look at your job. You get what I'm saying? Because now you're going to work because you want to, not necessarily because you need to.
The culture would change at that point.
The culture would change if people change the way of how they use money, and stop being behind, in front of money getting pushed, and start to be, like pushing the money and controlling the money and making the money do something for you.
They never teach us the energy of money from the beginning. They just teach us to consume.
The 10% that was going to tithe should have went to investing.
Yeah.
That's the way we should have been taught. We should have been taught that take that 10% and put it to the side to invest, to make sure that you will guarantee that the money that you worked for would someday work for you. Not a gold watch.
Yeah.
Not a retirement check.
Yeah.
But literally you would have that same money that you once worked for. It's almost like your kids.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The ideology would be to have kids, raise the kids up good enough with enough sense to where when you get old, that they would have enough love for you and care for you, that they would want to take care of you when you get old, and they, to reciprocate, right?
Right. I mean, even that is a form of social capital that you need to build up within your children, within your lineage. But they speak a lot about that in the Bible. They talk about, making your money circulated so many times within your people. You know what I mean? Right. But they never preach those things within our neighborhood, because if we put those things into practice, we wouldn't allow certain businesses in our neighborhoods, or, there will be money, we would be shopping with each other. You know what I mean? So,
a whole lot more.
Yeah, a whole lot more. We would be producing things, because money isn't just about getting that paper fiat that we just so accustomed to.
No, it has nothing to do with the paper. It has everything that you being used as an actual tool. It's the drill to the mechanic. You get what I'm saying? Right. Like we just have to teach our people to be mechanics.
Yeah.
And to be able to use the money, you know what I'm saying, to figure out how to use the money in whatever way, shape, or form for good, you know.
Right. And it's just like you said about changing the relationship with us, because not between just each other, but the relationship that we have with money is such a strange one. You know what I mean?
Very.
It's just like we're so built on consuming that people would rob us just to go buy things from other people.
Exactly.
Does that even make any sense? So if you rob me for 70,000 or 50,000 or 10,000,
and you don't even go invest none of that,
and nothing, and then you go and you buy things, like that's
and
how
then
you know,
it stops.
Right, and then it stops, and then you have to do it again.
Right, and then you got to do it all over again.
Yeah. So it's just like that social relationship that we have, that that mindset that we have with money. It's just like it's become everything, but it's such a distorted reality. We have to be able to do a better job of just segueing that energy of it to something else, because once you've mastered the energy, we could literally go into any business and have a certain relationship with money what's going to work for us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But what is money exactly? Like, how do you define it? Because you just made a point earlier. You say we want to make money a slave. Like, how do we do that? Like, what do you think money is, and then how do you make it a slave?
I mean, easily. Like stop looking at it from a consumer standpoint. I mean, that's pretty much the thing that's killing us. It's because we already spending the money before we get it.
Right.
So just picture if you was like, okay, if somebody made $1,000 a week, right, and they was like, you know what? Like I always say, I feel like we move out the house too early.
Right.
I feel like we should learn how to make money our slave before we ever even get out. I feel like the ideology and how we should approach, or how I want my kids to approach it, is in like I want them to buy a rental property before they buy a house.
Right.
You know, buy the property that's going to pay for your mortgage before you even move out. Right. So when it's about the time you buying your house, that'll be your second home, and it'll already be paid for. So that would mean that my kids would not have to do anything that they don't want to do for money, because their needs would already be met from their first initial investment that they made already.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like the fact that you behind money is driving you to act a certain type of way.
And it's crazy because
it's not that hold on. And it's not that we don't have the money.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody be like, if I had more money, but it's people getting $10,000 tax checks and everything. Like, and then we got stimulus money. We got all of this money pumping through, but it is a couple of, the only people that's taking advantage of it is the people that would have took advantage of having any money. But it's not like it didn't make the people that wasn't financially literate more literate. You get what I'm saying? They just end up blowing it on fucking TVs and shit like that.
We have to understand how much money we create by spending. You know how many jobs we create spending money? Like, what's on the other side of that coin? Like, you know what I mean? When I give you money for something, like, I'm creating a job. Like, so if we understood the money, we would look past the money and look to the production. Like, okay, what are we spending this on? And how can this actually come back?
Exactly.
Because if you go buy some food, right? Let's just look up the chain, right? I go to the restaurant, I go pay for some food. There's the cashier, there's the cook, there's the restaurant itself. Then I go up the chain, I can see management, I can see the administrative part, I can see the form that it came from, I can see the distribution, I can see trucking, your industry.
Yeah.
There's so many industries from me going to spend $6 at this restaurant that was involved. So, like, where did this money go? Where did this energy go to?
It definitely split up, and it went a lot of different places.
A lot of different ways, 20, 30 different places, different ways, from the branding to the logos to the color to, a person mopping the floor.
So we have to think to be on the other side of that, though.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like people who you don't even have to quit your job. There were people at the post office that had 6 or 7 rental properties.
Right.
But they were at work under a different state of mind, because they was at work like, I don't need this job. So they were more jollier about coming in, because it feels much better to go in to make money doing something that you feel like, that you don't feel like you have to do it.
Right.
The stress comes from feeling like you have to do it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So anytime you will be so you could start where you at being an investor. I feel like that should be everybody's aspiration, is to put this money to work, because it costs us a lot of stress. But on the topic of it really being everything, just think about it. Like, money buys you time.
It does.
You get what I'm saying? Like in this particular, especially in the United States, I can't speak on any other country because I haven't lived in any other country.
Right.
But as far as the country that we live in, you got to think about it from an aspect. There is nothing you can really do, and it's something associated with money in every corner around. No matter what you do, it's some type of ecosystem. Period. So even in relationships, like a woman is not finna be, not even just a woman, but nobody's finna be in a relationship where it is not benefits. It might not be the only reason you there, but if a woman is with a man or vice versa, you looking for some type of stability.
Right.
Because nobody under no circumstances want to really be dealing with no financial stress.
Right.
Nobody can say that, oh, if she has the best, she's the best in bed, or you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or oh, they care for my kids, or they do this. Yeah, somebody could be like, that's only going to be good for so long.
Right.
It's going to come a point where it's going to be like, hey, we need to get some money coming in. I don't care how you slice it. You know, it ain't no way around it.
So you're saying about that person having that particular relationship with money and it being a benefit or not being a benefit, it will control our actions in a certain way or to make us do certain things that we either don't want to do most of the time?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where the thing goes, where they say like money is the root of all evil. But really it's not. It's not money. It's not even the I wouldn't say it's the love. It's a natural need for it.
Yeah.
Because of the economy. The economy drives that. You know what I'm saying? If they put all of this money in the streets, you see people happy. People happy.
Why do look,
you know,
and especially thinking about like the term, like, or just with the concept money is everything. We see all of these distorted perspectives of money. For example, like in college, they'll give a broke 18-year-old kid with no credit $100,000 to go to school,
right,
but won't give a young entrepreneur with decent credit barely any money or no money at all, and make he or she jump through all of these hoops just to get a little bit of money. Why are you trusting this broke kid with money versus having an entrepreneur?
I mean, I don't think they even I don't believe it's a they trusting them with the money. The thing is, it's like if something's a hot commodity, you trying to give it whatever so it can make you the money that you trying to make. You get what I'm saying? If I'm gonna give somebody $5 million, in the back of my mind, I already got ticket sales and jersey sales and all of that calculated.
Yeah.
If somebody's giving you $5, you if anybody's offering you any amount of money, 9 times out of 10, you worth 3 times that.
But look, most of the time, these kids are going to default on the money anyway. So why would you not take a chance in both scenarios? For example, you got this broke 18-year-old kid, no credit history, no nothing, but you also have this broke 18-year-old kid that says, I want to be an entrepreneur. What's the difference? One going to school and one not going to school. I think the difference is one could potentially free themselves with you know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, that could be. So you saying from a college aspect, not from an athletic standpoint?
No, I'm just
looking. You're just saying just from college.
Student loan debt, for example.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think they ever expect you to pay off your student loans. Like I still got cousins, I still got friends who still got debt, and they've been in debt almost 15 years.
Say the whole time, man.
You know what I mean? Like, come on,
it's just
bro.
a vicious cycle.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, they're going to be working their whole lives because they understand that after we start families, we get into our careers, we got mortgages, you know, we got all of these things, all of these we've acquired all of this
and
debt.
Trying to pay for some debt would become a little less important.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how fast are you going to pay $70,000 of student loan debt when you're paying $200 a month?
Yeah, with interest. You're gonna play it slow, and the interest is gonna just keep on adding up and adding up. So.
Yeah, so and then you also have to account for inflation. The money is not the money is becoming more expensive. Goods become more expensive. So that means that we have to spend more money for less goods.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, like, why aren't they teaching us to master this energy? Because at the end of the day, why do certain people need more? And why do certain people, I think that everybody can learn from Black people. We've learned how to live with the bare minimum. Like if the politicians and people in Congress would say, hey, look at Black people. They know how to get through a hard time. Like we know how to scrap and pull things together. And when it comes to like mastering money in a bind, we know how to do it. Like we've mastered the fish fry to bury somebody. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
So I think.
But see, that's what I was just telling you, earlier about trying to keep that same energy that even no matter how much money you make, a lot of people would lose sight of what it took to actually get that.
Right.
And me, that's one of the biggest thing. Why I be wanting to wear the suits all the time, but I gotta put the hoodie on because the hoodie is where I come from. You know what I'm saying? So it gives me that feeling of that very first grind. It gets me back in that mode to where I don't get comfortable because man, I know, man, when I'm sitting up the suit and tie, my legs crossed, chilling with rich folks, you know what I'm saying? You do that, and to me, we talking big money talk. So I guess maybe I'm looking at it from a grit of like, damn, this is starting to be a little bit easy. But it's starting to get easier. But I guess I want it to be that grind still because it feels so liberating to be like, yeah.
But you didn't make the hoodie.
I know.
So that's the difference. So how can that be where you came from when you didn't make it?
Hey, point taken.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's humbling. And this is what we have to have a conversation about, coming and seeing what's on the other side of the production. Because if me and you made the hoodie and we wore it and then we got to some suits, then it would be like, bro, we need to get back to the hoodies because we made those.
Yeah, we made those. I got you.
You know what I mean? So, but that's the point that we need to do to kind of reconfigure our relationship with money. What we doing with it? Because we need to do the things on the other side so we can master that energy, so it just come right back around in a circle. Because once that happens, then it's like free game. Like it's free money. Because I'm spending with all my people, they spending it back, and we're just going in a circle. Like that literally sound like Monopoly in my mind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, we've mastered the game. We've mastered the cycle of money where it ain't leaving. And it's just strictly within us because
man, that would be a great thing though. But it's like trying to put trying to install that mentality in people. Hold on. Somebody's actually coming in. Somebody coming in said money is nothing. Mind is power. Mind has been broken by notes. No human is broke. This is impossible to mask your thoughts. Are you controlled by fake notes? I believe in you. Now, I feel where the ideology of like money is nothing, in a sense of it being paper, in a sense of it being like, okay, what in physical form, it's nothing. There's nothing in the physical form but a piece of paper with some ink on it and some dead.
Well, we have to convince the rest of the world that it's nothing. That's the only problem that I have with that statement. We have to convince the rest of the world that what he's saying is oblivious and it means nothing.
So I mean, because the people that know, because when you know that it ain't what it is. The whole point of this conversation is because it's not really what it's set out to be, but it's made to be this thing when really the know-how and what it could actually do as a tool is nothing. It's no better than it's no better than a hammer.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? A hammer is only good for knocking a nail in or what you need it for.
Look,
the same thing as money.
If we took away all of these physical fiat dollars, something else would just come in as money.
Yeah, because at first it was coins.
Yeah, I mean, and if we took
that gold, if
we took that away, something else will become money other than that. Crypto. It don't have to be shells. It could look. It
don't got to be paper. It's gonna be crypto.
Right. Look, it'll eventually get to a certain point where you would have skills or you would have goods, and we would trade on goods and skills. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it would take.
Either way, it'll still be current, and that's why I always say that it goes back to the know-how.
Right.
The money doesn't do anything for us.
Right.
We know this, but buy us the time to do this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
We only think about this. We only spend money on products and services anyway.
Yeah.
So if we just take money's kind of has become an intermediary. If we take away the intermediary, we would just be exchanging products and services directly. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. Is like, but they've been able to do such a great job of creating fake energy in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's been that it's like that fake energy has been controlling all of our actions.
Yeah.
But if we can recognize the products and services,
it's been like money has been the gun to your head. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I need you to do this for me.
Yeah.
I need you to do this for me. It's like somebody riding and telling you where to go.
Yeah.
Until you just realize, like, I'm the one driving this car.
I
know what I'm saying?
I seen an article where it says that Bill Gates is now the largest owner of farmland in the country. And that was the most genius thing that he could ever did, right? Why is a computer programmer the largest owner of farmland? Because food is probably one of the closest and realest sources of money ever. Bro, you could take away gold and silver, which are some of the highest forms of money, and it wouldn't mean anything in comparison to food, because if you had all the gold and silver in the world, billions and trillions of dollars, you still gonna have to come to me, the farmer, for food.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just charge you billions and billions of dollars for these few little apples. You know what I mean? So we have to actually recognize what we need to survive. You know what I mean? So, and in the essence, it's like we just really need the earth. Everything else we kind of fill out. But since we have to live here and be in abundance to all of these resources, we have to make them count. There are certain
you just
countries.
Gotta make it make sense.
There's certain countries that didn't have any resources. For example, Japan. Japan is not a minerally rich, resourceful country. They went around the world finessing everybody else out their stuff. They had no money. They had no paper. They had no resources. So I agree with the brother when he said the power is in the mind. The power is in the mind.
Yeah.
Because if you cunning enough, or you devious enough, or either you smart enough, you can go just get the money from other people.
Yeah.
So
people willingly give it away. I mean, it's the equivalent to the horse. It's the equivalent to the horse being tied to the chair. And in his mind, he doesn't even realize he's looking at the tie. Right. But really, he don't even realize that he can walk and actually move the chair. I mean, it's the same correlation with money.
So how important is it to let somebody who doesn't live in a neighborhood to run a business in the neighborhood? Like, even drug dealers get it, right? You have somebody who don't come from the neighborhood who want to hustle on our block. Why don't you want them to do that? Because they take the energy off of the block. They take away the money and the financial gain away from the block. Why don't we look at that in the bigger sense and say, hey, y'all taking away the spiritual energy, y'all taking away the physical energy, y'all taking away the nature of the neighborhood, when we let people who ain't from here come and hustle here and come run businesses here and feed us and give y'all, you might give us
food that ain't our food, that ain't our natural food to eat. You know, they feeding us, they selling us culture.
Right.
And essentially they ain't even selling us our culture. They selling us their culture.
And we buying it up.
They don't even eat the Chinese don't even eat that rice that they giving us. They don't eat it the way that they sell it to us. They just figured out a way to sell it to us.
Yeah.
They be in the back eating steam fried.
Yeah.
I mean, not steam fried, but just steam white rice. They ain't even eat no soy rice.
Yeah. So we're just like, what do we have to do? You know what I mean? Like, what do we have to do to change them? Let's give the people some of the things that we could do to change the nature of the relationship, so money can be everything, but we can know how to use it and take advantage of it. Like, that's the thing. Now that we've recognized that this relationship has gone bad, like,
it's the thing is, they don't have to look at it as like it's everything. They have to stop letting it be. It has to stop being religion for you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like the thing is, it doesn't have to be like that, because if you make the right moves, and it's 2 + 2 gonna always be 4.
Right.
If the law of reciprocity states, like, that if you give, you're gonna receive. Yeah. So if you clear on what you're doing, like, to be honest, and like, the money is gonna actually find you. You're not gonna have to go look for the money. Right. Most people don't get rich by, you could chase the bag. But if you consistently chase the bag, you really gonna just be spending it until you get that knowledge of how to use it. It don't matter how much money you make.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So if you have to make it not everything to you to learn how to be able to get rid of it in a different way and make it be a slave.
Okay, so look, you keep talking about this concept. Break it down for us, brother. Like, make money a slave. Like, give us an example of how you make money a slave. Because
I tell you about it time and time again. I said replace, if you want to look at it from a religion standpoint, replace the 10% that in the Bible that it would say
the tithes and offerings.
Mm-hmm. And if you invested that money which with that, it's essentially ties would be paying your dues till you getting a good word, which is not a bad thing.
Right.
Well, you need to find another 10% and invest it, because you need the investment is the insurance that you will not be working in the future, or that the money that you worked for will once work for you. That should be the dream. That should be what everybody's thinking about. How can I, if I make $1,000 a week, how can I take $100 of this, compound and let it add up,
right,
and turn this into some energy that puts me in Miami while it's still turning and flipping for me.
Right.
And you can do it. You could do it. Like I said, I would always say real estate. I mean, to me, there's nothing about a property. You got all of these small towns. You got St. Louis, Cleveland, and Detroit's. All of these places got $30,000 properties. If for somebody's just making $1,000 a week, you mean to tell me that you couldn't, like, $400 a month?
But see, I think that people don't, like, in these poor places, right? Me and you could go to St. Louis and we see opportunity. Like places like St. Louis and Detroit, those places are in need of are in need of energy, right? They're in need of some good energy, and it's not necessarily they're in need of money. They're in need of a new relationship with money. Like I think that, like if we looked at money in a different way, then we could conquer. Because it was like, why aren't there any jobs in Detroit or St. Louis? There's plenty. There's people there. Wherever you got people, you got money.
I mean, the tide is changing, though. I mean, it can be. You got to think about it. The new jobs and the new entrepreneurs that are creating jobs are different types of jobs. Yeah. Like a lot of the stuff you're able to do remotely. So the thing is, we gotta, as a people, we gotta be willing to change with the time.
So what do you think about getting rid of the minimum wage as a way of like offsetting or creating more opportunities in business?
I don't think I like I'm gonna give you what I'm saying. From my perspective, I don't want anybody working for me, period. Okay. Anybody that does business with me now, from moving forward, I'm about to get rid of all employees. You're going to have an LLC, and I'm going to pay you to that LLC, and I'm going to teach you how to build up some business credit. Mm-hmm. So you can one day end up being and do the same thing that I'm doing, because it doesn't make sense. Okay. If we got businesses, we can control the narrative of how people deal with it. So I can hire you to come and work for me, or I can hire you to, or either I can partner with you, which I'm still getting money with you, off of, it doesn't change. I don't need you to be a slave. I don't need you bowing down to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. We need to be creating a ladder. More people creating the ladder for the people that we see coming up. Because like everybody's looking at people like competition. There is no competition, between me and you. Because even if we in the same business, we still not gonna do it the same way. We don't even have the same mind. So I don't look at the way that I came up was by working inside, looking at these dudes and doing trucking. Mm-hmm. Y'all ain't my competition, bro. Like y'all doing y'all whole goals and what y'all trying to do, and my goals ain't even the same thing.
So you don't believe in free markets. You don't believe in you competing against people who sell the same products or services?
I don't ever look at. I look at everything from a creative standpoint, and not a competitive one. Like competitive in the sense of you working hard and I'm trying to outwork you in a sense.
Yeah, but I mean, if that work leads to production of a product or a service.
But what I'm saying is, you ain't even in the same business.
I know, but you
see what I'm saying?
When we're talking with people who are in your same industry.
I don't even, the thing is, I figure out how to be the best I can in that industry, but I never look at it from a competitive standpoint, because the way that it's like this. You can, that's where I think the problem is. The problem is that everybody's trying to chase every dollar. Like there are restaurants that are open from 1:00 p.m. to 8:00, and they making their money. They got it in their mind that I'm not opening before that, and I'm not staying open later. The thing that I think more people need to do is to have a standard about themselves. You know what I'm saying? To do it, because these companies, I mean, think about these companies that are open at only a certain time. They're not getting no less money.
But that just means that they've studied their market. They know that most of their consumers come in at that time.
So what I'm doing, so that means that if everybody, so that would suggest that if everybody created a business that was advantageous to what you can do and your talent, people are gonna come and see talent when they see talent. Jay-Z no matter who Jay-Z or Beyonce's fan base is, if they say they're gonna be somewhere at 3:00, their fan base is gonna be there at the time that they say.
Yeah, but they have to do a whole lot to get them there.
Not really, bro. Like if somebody's coming to see you, they coming to see you. Period. If somebody wants to shop for their product, they're gonna come and shop for their product when you open. So you can be the business that try to move to the people. Granted, you might make a lot more money.
Well, if competition didn't exist, why don't they educate certain races of people?
I'm not saying it don't exist, but that don't mean that. It's like us talking about money is everything. Right. If we're gonna change it, we gotta change. We have to get off of. We have to. You said talk about a way for people to get off of the same motion with money. You get what I'm saying? In order to get off of that, you got to start thinking with a different mind. So if
see, my perspective is a lot different. I think that we should get more competitive. The reason I'm saying that we're getting more competitive is because it's not about what you have versus what I have, right? It's about the ability to survive at the end of the day, right? You have certain countries, for example, in Africa, you had European countries went into Africa that split up the territory based on resources. You had the French, Congo, Nigeria, Britain. You had all of these European countries owning Africa for resources. A lot of them still own the majority of the resources today in Africa. They use them as an advantage to feed themselves and fuel their billion-trillion-dollar industries all around the world. Now, what are we going to do about it? Now, we can say that, hey, they not our competition, but it's a place that we come from that if we were to work with Africans, we would have a competitive advantage because it's like we got the most money out of any Africans around the world, right? And then our people back home got the resources. What kind of competitive advantage is that in comparison to other people? You know what I mean? Especially when people want to bring a problem and a threat to you. You know what I mean? Like militarily. You would have to work with us because we got all the resources to build rockets, to build spaceships, to build bullets, to build computers, to build everything that you need. You got to go holler at them Africans. So it's about us positioning ourselves to a certain energy to have that relationship and to understand money where it is and where that energy is and how people are using things. You know what I mean? Like even our skills, like our talent. Think about the music industry. Like, bro, we got all this rhythm and our music accounts for over 50% of the sales. Yet we're at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to actually getting paid and making money off of our resource because our skill is our resource.
But even if you took on a plane of competition.
Okay.
All right. If you took two artists, the two artists are still gonna have their own their own fan base.
That's true.
Like I don't care how much you could try to keep singing and keep doing this, but your likeness is gonna be what your likeness is.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's not like you could really compete. That people are gonna identify good for good. If we all A-listers, somebody gonna be better than somebody else.
Yeah.
Because one of them people probably was naturally better anyway. You know, that goes on to that topic.
But like look, I said, who has the ability to make people recognize your talent as being valuable is the whole key to the conversation.
Got you. Okay. I got you.
Because look, remember, diamonds aren't worth anything. Diamonds aren't even rare. They had to run a campaign to tell people that diamonds were rare. Look, when you die, they can make your bones out of diamonds. They can make animal bones out of diamonds. They aren't that rare. Rubies are actually 2 times as rare. Rubies and emeralds are actually 2 times as rare as diamonds. A lot of people don't even know that. So a lot of things that have what we call perceptional value.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just like we have to make somebody recognize that something is valuable. Just like I don't think that gold and silver is as valuable as people like to think it is. It has more internal value because, there's a lot of gold in mustard seeds.
Gold is very, very, very valuable though.
Yeah, but silver is more valuable, especially when it comes to industrial use. We use it in cars. We use it in electronics. They ward off bacteria. It's in a lot of our medicine. Silver is more valuable than gold when we come to use case. But why is gold worth more? You know what I mean? So we're just like looking at
money. Because so truthfully, are you saying that like really money ain't shit? Essentially,
in a sense, yeah. I think that we got the wrong idea. Like if we had the right idea, we would be recognizing certain things and people would be loading up on.
Man, I just hope people ain't really. I mean, I hope they really following the plot twist and understanding that it's like that we walking you through how it could be everything. Yeah. How this thing that everybody sees is everything that is really nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like I said, competition is know-how.
Yeah, competition is know-how.
So it all goes back to the value of the knowledge and the skills you bring to the table. That's what's going to give you the competitive advantage.
Yeah.
So to me, the know-how is worth more than the money because, like I said, if you got the know-how, it's going to be somebody with some money just trying to invest in that particular know-how.
And you know what? Another thing that we have to recognize is systems. You talk a lot about systems, right? Systems and perfecting systems.
Systems are everything, man.
Right. So look how much systems have become have been worth. Mm-hmm. Like we look at all of these systems from educational systems to religion system to spiritual systems. Systems have become zillion dollar businesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as what we invest in, even down to the industries when it comes to doing business. Like we invest in systems when we invest in things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's why we have to look at and recognize those things as being money. Like, yo, we need to have a way to kind of form our own money printer when it comes to.
So what I'm saying, systems. Okay, so that would go back to what I'm saying with the system.
Right.
So if the value is in the system.
Right.
But in order to put a system together, you would have to have what?
To me, you would have to have a mind. Like
you would have to have know-how.
You have to know.
So that means that I keep trying to push the agenda on everybody that know-how is the real currency here.
But look, I just think
because you would not be able to.
But people, to me, look, I think that the other part of the equation that's missing is that people have always had know-how. I think that the cooperation with the know-how puts it together.
Now I'm just saying though. Okay, so if I give you, so I'm gonna go back to the thing. If I give you $1 million, and you have no idea of what to do with it, then you would have money that ain't shit money,
right? Which is a lot of us.
People. So what I'm saying is, people keep getting the money in their hand. So let's let them know the real thing that they actually missing. So
you put it. So
you get what I'm saying? Like they missing the knowledge of what to do with the money when they get it.
But look, now we can put together a group of people with all the know-how without the cooperation, and we still have nothing.
What you mean?
Because look, you have people with a ton of know-how, right? Mm-hmm. But without cooperation.
What do you mean cooperation?
Cooperation means that people working in accordance and working together for a common
system.
Cause.
A system.
Right, with a common cause. For example, like black people working together, right? Mm-hmm. Because we aren't a people with no skills.
Right.
We've had skills since slavery. You know what I mean? So it's just like we've had all of that know-how without these systems, without this cooperation.
Right. We had a lot of know-how without a lot of opportunity, without a lot of the tool, which is money.
But you don't. But see now.
So you don't
can't separate it though. You can't give back.
So you don't think that if people that had the know-how had the money, that they would be able to make it work? That was us.
You have people.
We searched and got the know-how. That's the only way that we was able to get out. It wasn't money that freed us. It was you with the idea.
But look, we've had people with no skills that cooperated with each other, that went and got the know-how and got all the money.
But either way, they still had the know-how was the thing. That's what the know-how is, the trade and bartering system.
Yeah, but
if you sitting in this thing building know-how, you bring some type of value because you know how to do something.
Right,
now
but we still
exchange.
have to have culture to back up the know-how. Like,
what do you mean culture to back up the know-how?
Because for example, did you see the new movie Judas and the Black Messiah?
No, somebody just told me to watch it, so I'm gonna have to watch that when I go home.
Yeah,
you're like the second or third person to say something about
this movie. So the main point that I'm trying to hit without giving away the movie is so many times that black people, we look to these messiahs, like these leaders, these Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Kwame Ture types, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To guide us. And then once these people die off or get killed, then we don't have a sense of leadership, right? What I'm saying is that, and how I'm bringing it back is when we have culture, we don't need leaders because culture is what raises the community.
I got you.
Without
the
leader
like
being there. So we have culture.
The culture is the culture. Is like the culture of mama's
right.
house while she's gone.
Right. So then it automatically creates the leadership that we need. But there is no bringing together know-how and making it make sense without culture, because culture will make a situation great. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, out of slavery,
culture out of slavery, everything though,
right?
Bro.
Out of slavery, we were the most skilled people in America. We had all the know-how. We knew we were the builders. We built the ships. We built railroads. We built everything. We were the farmers.
We knew know-how in the sense of trading and handy shit. I'm talking like know-how as in how we are learning the system. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we couldn't. But like I said, like we would have had to have that culture to create those things.
So are we creating the culture right now?
I don't think so. I don't think
this is the culture.
But I'm just talking about,
you know what I'm saying? Like this podcast right now is the culture.
It is the culture. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just talking about in the grand scheme of things in comparison to where we need to go.
But what I'm saying is, see, so I'm glad you said that because, bro, like there are so many people that got informative podcasts. That's why I had to jump on it. I'm like, mine ain't got to be that big. It's a couple of other cats that's got big ones that's doing it. I wanted to join the culture and be in the thing where, okay, people are like, look, bro, we actually got some followers. We actually got some people that's fucking with what we saying. We got some people that's actually going to go become investors based on what we saying. So we are a part of the financial literacy culture now.
Yeah.
That's teaching people the know-how and giving them tips and game on another way. First, we got to change the way they think.
Right.
Giving them the tips without them having the mind and the know-how. You know, first you got to have the thought and be able to. They're gonna have to let that marinate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because just look at it from the beginning. How much money did you have when you started your first business?
I had no money.
You started so you started your first business.
We started my first business from $150.
That's what I'm saying. So
I went to like 2 classes and they gave me $50 and 2 other people $50, and I used their capital to invest. And then I started the CD business. And then I started selling illegal CDs, and I started giving you something to sell illegal CDs, and that's how both of our businesses kind of started.
So that would say so wouldn't that say that we started from a very, very small place,
a very, very small place,
with the right mind and the right know-how?
Yeah, the right know-how. Yeah.
So the know-how is what got you in this position. Is what got me in the position, not the money. It's us seeking out the way to get it. The money was a tool. But without us learning and reading books, like reading hundreds of books, trying to figure out how to do it.
Now, money.
I definitely don't want people going out thinking that I don't want people to go out and be thinking that like, okay, I need a $10,000 loan or I need a $30,000 loan, but yet they don't know what the hell they're gonna do with it. To end up with that heartbreak of having that money and end up going broke again.
I think that if you can acquire the money before you know what to do with it, it's good. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, yeah, you want to acquire know-how, but money gives you that energy. Like, you know what I mean? It gives
that energy.
It gives you a couple
messed up, man.
It gets you a couple more swings at the bat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, think about the decisions that you made.
If I didn't have the credit and I didn't have the resources, I would have been out of business a long time ago.
Yeah. So even those forms of money kept you afloat like long enough to
until I did what? Until I knew how. Until I had the know-how to do it better.
I'm saying, but you had that extra cushion of energy to get you over that place.
True.
You know what I mean? So look, we need money like we need air, in our lungs. It's okay. I want to let people know that it's okay to acquire money, even if it's the fake fiat energy.
I'm not gonna sit up here and say that. You know that of course. I mean, I just feel like the relationship with money is what needs to be on trial here.
Yeah, because we're not cooperating. Like the thing is, not me and you, but it's like we're not cooperating as a group to make money the most efficient that it could be. It's like we're getting it and we're giving it away. You know what I mean? Even everybody understands the position that, you know, especially with people of color have with money. Like, you know what I mean? Like we be late to the party on everything. especially with all the new stuff. Like, man, you would be surprised. I just seen my aunt talking about Bitcoin. I was telling people to invest when they didn't even know what Bitcoin was. You know, I was telling people back, look, 4 years ago, yo, y'all go get you some Bitcoin. Oh, it's $2,000 a Bitcoin. Yeah, buy it anyway. One day it's gonna be 100,000. They couldn't see that. They couldn't see that it was people's money, right? And it was going to eventually free us.
But we gotta understand that, like, that's why I feel like we gotta kind of slow roll the people, essentially.
But do we don't have the time for that? Like, do we not see what's going on? Like,
okay,
3 years ago, would you ever?
That's the same thing I told you. Not everybody gonna see it the way that we see it as quick as we see it.
Okay, so look, so let me ask you a harsh question: should those people die off then, just because they don't get it as quick?
No, because they're gonna be good for something else.
We don't know that. We got artificial intelligence and robots coming down the pipeline. What do we need them for?
Nah.
I'm just saying, look, I'm just being realistic, right? We got a bunch of things coming down the pipeline that is going to replace people. You know how many jobs disappeared when this pandemic happened? A ton of jobs. They never coming back. It's just
gonna put people back into they're gonna be back into their talents.
But what are they gonna do? If you don't know how to monetize your talent, it don't matter how much talent you got if you don't know how to monetize it, or you don't know how to make somebody recognize its perceived value or actual value. So
you think it's gonna be a bunch of stale people just sitting?
Bro, they're giving us free stimulus. They're giving us free money. Like, people are not have the need to do nothing.
But for how long?
Look, Biden gonna be here for 4 years, so I say we get 4 years of free checks. I think that we at least good for 4 years of free money.
4 years of free money?
I think that people because look, at the end of the day, the government wants to take care of us. They don't want us to be competitive. They want to take care of us.
And why do you think that though?
Because at the end of the day, look,
that's a new idea.
They keep shipping our jobs off to other people. If they really cared about jobs, all of the industries of us making these hats and these fly suits and these green turtlenecks and those hoodies, they would be over here. That don't make no sense if they wanted to create jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Every industry that we spent money on would be over here. It wouldn't matter how much we paid for it. They wouldn't make it a way that those industries made money, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then every dollar would count. Then they would get rid of the minimum wage and say, you know what, we just pay out whatever. We'll just fit the economy. In certain places, the real estate is going to be a lot cheaper. But the thing is, they're trying to get real estate and things to seem comparable all around the country when that's impossible. The standards of living in certain places are always going to be different. It's always going to be more expensive in New York than Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You know what I mean? Or nowhere, Mississippi. You know what I mean? So it's just like different standards of living. It's always going to be a difference from living in DC to living in San Antonio, Texas. You know what I mean? So we're just like, we have to create that difference. So I just think that they're just going to pacify us by giving us all this free bread, and we're not going to do nothing. You know what I mean? Some of us who are going to get it, who are going to see like, yo, somebody has to pay for us spending this fake money. You know what I mean? Somebody, the check got to come from somewhere. Somebody's labor has to pay for this. We got to do something.
So you thinking that all of the people that's in it, you said they should just. So you said it's going to be a bunch of people that's going to be swept under the rug.
Like, bro, what are we going to do?
By artificial intelligence.
What are we going to do with them? They're already coming out with technology for robo-nurses. They're already coming out with technologies.
Robo-nurses?
Yeah, robo-nurses. China is rolling them out right now.
Okay, so what are the robo-nurses going to do exactly?
Take temperature, read blood, everything that nurses do.
That's a CNA's job, you know. With so you think there's always going to be a need for people.
Bro, you have certain people that are trying to you get robots to replace people, bro. They're already having auto mechanics that are robots. Kiosks at fast food restaurants. They already got burger flipping machines that the cost to run them are like $2 an hour. Like, we had conversations where you said if you could find an automated truck, you would replace
Hey, I definitely holler at Tesla. Yeah, we're gonna have to get out of here. And we coming up on an hour right now.
Yeah. We're coming up on an hour. It's been a beautiful experience. Would you like to lead us out?
All right, y'all. So we determined, well, in my opinion, from my perspective, that money definitely is not. It's definitely not everything, but it's very essential to the life that we live in a you know, in this Western world, you know, in our society.
Right.
But my take on it is that I feel like everybody needs to start taking 10% of their earnings and they just start investing so the money that they working for could work for them.
Yeah.
And we need to, it's a shift of the mindset that I'm going for. It's not going to happen in one podcast. It's not going to happen in one day. Yeah. It's not going to happen in one conversation.
Yeah. I think that we need to cooperate economically to recognize that the energy doesn't come from resources. It comes from us. Money is in the mind. You know what I mean? The reason why the money means everything because our mental capacity is infinite. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With the ideas and the things that we come up with, we can literally take an idea and make it manifest, and then that can feed us for the rest of our life. I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know that it's possible, but I feel like for the 100, like my mama was telling me, if it's 100 dudes from the hood that was right there with me, if I made it out, I feel like I hold it as my obligation to figure out how did I what's the word for it? Unscramble the code. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? How did I hack the system?
Right.
So I figured it must have had to be that I must have that talent to do that. But that don't mean I don't need security like muscle. That don't mean that even if those guys could serve as muscle, as security, even if somebody got to cook, somebody got to help us watch the kids, somebody got to teach the kids. So we need more than just the entrepreneurial mind of the masterminds, because the mastermind can't be the mastermind unless they got other people that could help run the system that they're trying to create.
Right.
So how can I run a system if I don't have the people to do it?
Right.
I couldn't do everything on my own, so I have to teach the people coming up in order to have people that's going to help me live out my vision. It would be impossible for me to do my vision on my own.
Right. Yeah. So this has been one of the deeper podcasts that we've done. Hopefully we can do another part 2 to this, because I think that we.
Hey man, I'm gonna go with what the comments said. I mean, this go deep. Drop it in the comments, y'all.
Y'all definitely drop it in the comments. But this has been the Life is Business podcast. Is money everything? Man, we had a whole lot. But it's me, your boy Federo, Kobe Pegway, and we out.
All right. Peace, y'all.